I want to continue the conversation. I want to bring in Philip Brashear, retired chief warrant officer. He was a former Black Hawk helicopter pilot. And Ron Basman, he is a retired FAA controller for over 30 years. He has worked and has managed controllers at airports across the country. And also with us is Captain Richard Levy. He was a captain at American Airlines for 41 years. He's an aviation expert. Captain, I'm going to thank you all for coming on. Captain, I'll start with you. Have you ever piloted a Learjet 55, or what can you tell us about a Learjet 55 and how it might be different than operating another kind of aircraft?
Hi, Jesse. Good evening. Our thoughts, of course, go out to the deceased, the family, and the local neighborhoods. I flew very large transports for American Airlines, but this Lear 55, I have some knowledge about it, but I've watched these videos, and a couple things I know right away is if you have an engine failure, any of these aircraft can fly single engine after takeoff. They're certified for that up to the gross weight of the airplane. The airplane, if they lost an engine, that I can eliminate that because the airplane went straight down. When an aircraft takes off and comes down, of course, as you've already mentioned, is loaded with 6,000 or 7,000 pounds of jet fuel, there's the explosion. But more importantly, what would cause an aircraft to for the pilots to lose control of it? What comes to mind to me, again, no facts, I want to be very clear, weight and balance. On the Lear 55, weight and balance is very critical. Not saying that's the fault. It's too early. I know you know that. But before takeoff, you have a captain and a first officer. On this airplane, you had the captain, first officer, two doctors, the patient, and a family member. In any event, before takeoff, generally, but not always, the first officer does the pre-flight walk around and supervises the fueling. It could be the captain. We of course, don't know that now. In any event, in the Lear 55, what I do know is weight and balance. That's the weight of the aircraft, and almost as important, if not more important, is the balance, what we call the center of gravity. And the fueling of the Lear 55 has to be done carefully so that the center of gravity is correct. If it was not done correct, hypothetically, since we don't know, and they take off with the airplane, the weight and balance off, this is what happens to an airplane. You get it airborne because of thrust and what we call ground effect, the air flowing underneath the wings. You get it airborne, and then you lose control of the airplane, and it comes straight down.
That may be one of the possibilities that they're looking at, and hopefully, again, we'll get more answers as the hour progresses. Ron, I want to go to you. Let's talk about air traffic control here. I would imagine, even for private aircraft like this, a medvac, what is the relationship, the communication between air traffic control? Do they get some sort of priority if they're medvac? And let me also ask you this. If there's, reports about a call sign, there were call signs in terms of this was a medevac, what information will we be gleaning from air traffic control at this point?
Well, typically in a medevac flight, they're going to get priority. And from a call sign standpoint, that's not necessarily something in a civilian aircraft that we would know right away. It could be operating under a typical, what we call N number, which is a U.S. registration number. And even though it is a medical flight and everything, unless it was put in the remarks of the flight plan and everything, a lot of times the controller wouldn't even know unless unless the pilot in command drew the attention to that status to the controllers.
Philip, I wanted to ask you about this. We are getting early reports, conflicting reports, again, this is so new, about whether any of the people on board would have had the ability to evacuate. Do you know anything about that, about whether there'd be an ability to evacuate this aircraft in any way?
Now, first of all, let me say that I'm a helicopter pilot by trade and career, but I will tell you that with that nose-down attitude, I tend to think that aircraft didn't have any hydraulic power because it came nose down. So to me, it looks like a loss of hydraulics. And with the nose-down attitude that it had, I don't think there was any chance of anybody getting out of that aircraft, whether they had a parachute or not. It was in a straight nose-down descent on fire.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.